Imagine waking up and there's no electricity, no light, no refrigerator, no way to cook. Not because of a storm, but because your country has run out of fuel. This is Cuba right now. 11 million people trapped in what experts call the worst crisis since the Soviet collapse. Today, we break it all down. What happened, why, who's responsible, and whether Cuba's economy is truly on the brink of collapse. Cuba runs one of the last Soviet-style command economies in the world. After the USSR collapsed in 1991, Cuba lost 80% of its imports overnight. The economy shrank 35% in 3 years. Recovery came through Venezuelan subsidized oil and tourism. But Cuba never diversified. When either lifeline dried up, the system buckled. The U.S. embargo, in place since 1962, has restricted trade and foreign investment for decades, compounding every other crisis. Venezuela's state oil company collapsed from mismanagement and sanctions, and Cuban oil imports fell sharply. By early 2024, rolling blackouts hit half the country. In October 2024, Cuba's largest power plant went offline, triggering a total nationwide blackout for 3 days. 11 million people, no electricity, no water pumps, hospitals struggling. Mexico's Pemex stepped in partially, but Cuba, deep in debt, couldn't compete for oil. The economy officially shrank in 2024, though independent economists say the real figure was far worse. The sugar harvest hit its lowest point in over a century. Trump's return in January 2025 brought maximum pressure back to Cuba. Tighter sanctions and Cuba back on the state sponsor of terrorism list. Then came the geopolitical earthquake. Maduro fell in January 2026. The U.S. seized Venezuelan oil tankers bound for Cuba and signed an executive order effectively blockading all Venezuelan oil to the island and threatening tariffs on any other supplier. Mexico, facing crippling U.S. trade pressure, halted oil shipments to Cuba by late January 2026. Havana's airport nearly ran out of jet fuel. Canada's major airlines suspended all Cuba flights. Tourism, Cuba's last revenue lifeline, collapsed overnight. Cubans endure 10 to 20-hour blackouts daily. Water pumps fail, food rots, schools and universities shut down. Garbage piles up as fuel trucks sit idle. The government food ration system has been cut. Rice, oil, milk, sugar, all reduced. A fire broke out at a Havana refinery in February 2026, a symbol of Cuba's crumbling infrastructure. And the people are leaving. Over 800,000 Cubans emigrated to the United States alone between 2022 and 2024, roughly 7% of the entire population. The United Nations Secretary General called the situation extremely concerning, warning the humanitarian crisis will worsen without oil. UN experts condemned the blockade as a serious violation of international law. Russia promised oil but delivered little. China expressed solidarity without dramatic action. Mexico sent 2 Navy ships with humanitarian aid, but no oil. Cuba is increasingly isolated and the walls are closing in. Economist Pavel Vidal warns that if oil supply ceases entirely, the Cuban economy would grind to a halt, devastating for a country already in recession for 6 years. Unlike the crisis of the 1990s, Cuba today has less political legitimacy, an older infrastructure, and fewer recovery levers. Tourism is gone. Remittances are sanctioned. Foreign investment is scared off. By late 2025, Cuba's president told the National Assembly that GDP had fallen over 4% and the economy was partially paralyzed. A former Canadian ambassador stated bluntly that Washington is trying to throttle Cuba's economy until the regime collapses, while Havana quietly signals it is open to negotiation. Cuba stands at its most dangerous crossroads in 3 decades. An oil crisis years in the making has been weaponized by geopolitics. The Cuban people, resilient beyond imagination, are once again being asked to endure. Whether the government survives, whether reforms come, whether diplomacy opens, all of it remains unwritten. But what happens in Cuba in the coming months will shape Latin America and U.S. foreign policy for years. The world would do well to pay attention. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this informative, please give it a like and share it. It helps reach people who want to understand the world more deeply. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss a video. We cover the stories that matter, the ones behind the headlines. See you in the next one. Take care.